Hello friends, welcome you all to this certificate course program on written and spoken English. And today we are going to start with our first chapter, and you can see it on your screen. Before I start, I would like to instruct you that you have to make comments below for your attendance. So here we are going to learn how to speak in English and how to write correct English, and therefore you must not take burden of English. You must not worry that how you are going to speak it or how you are going to learn it. So I say, don't worry about how you will learn. Enjoy the learning process. And you must remember that you should not just speak in English, but you have to communicate through English. And therefore, in order to communicate through English, you have to start thinking in English. So that is the first required skill or required assist to speak in English, that you must start thinking in English. This means that if you are talking to someone in English, the other person should be able to understand you and respond to you. If they don't understand, you are only talking, you are not communicating. So that is the main reason why we speak in English incorrectly, is because we don't think in English. So when we think in our mother tongue and try to translate it into English, when we think in our mother tongue and then translate, it means that we are only replacing words without really understanding how their order should be. So from now, I would like to tell you, and you must start by enjoying the learning process, start thinking in English. I understand that it is not easy to start thinking in a different language all of a sudden. However, even the word impossible says, I am possible. Therefore, begin to think in English as much as you can. If you don't know the language at all and find this changing, you could start as soon as you begin to learn and understand the language a little. So now there is a question: where do I begin from, or how I'll learn English? So there is a very simple answer to this question, that from where you should start to learn English. So there are four important major areas of the language that are important to speak fluently. And you just going to tell me in the comment section, because I am putting the four areas, you are going to put that in which area you face difficulty or you face issues. So it could be 1, 2, 3 or all of them, but don't worry, because we are going to cover all these issues in this certificate course and this series of lectures here. So which are these four elements or major areas of language? So number 1 is grammar, number 2 is pronunciation, number 3 is fluency, and number 4 is comprehension. Without complicating it too much, let me show you the topics that you will be learning under each of them. So, now I have started learning English. When I have started learning English, there were so many topics and areas to be learned that I was confused about where to begin from and how to progress. So, in grammar section, we are going to learn nouns, pronouns, verbs, subject verb agreement, question formation, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, articles, conjunctions, interjections and conditionals. I think you have referred the syllabus also. In the pronunciation section, we are going to learn consonant sounds, then vowel sounds, syllable stress and intonation, tone and self practice. In fluency we are going to learn about, I will give you some tips and you have to do self practice, and for comprehension also I will give some tips and you have to do self practice. So, for those who do not enjoy playing video games, treat these learning videos and these learning lessons as video games. So, you have no idea how much you will enjoy taking these topics as you learn and how happy you will be the day you have a tick on all of them. So, I was jumping with joy when I complete all these topics. So, before I start our today's lecture's topic, nouns, I would like to give you some guidelines, some tips. So, you must remember those guidelines and tips. So, first guideline is think in English. Number second, follow the book flow and follow by reading some books. Complete all the recommended exercises which will be given to you in the assignment sections. Focus on recognizing the sounds we produce whenever we discuss pronunciation, and then I will explain this more when we begin pronunciation. Note that grammar is made of 8 parts of speech written in the table. I will share that table in our Google Classroom. And pronunciation is made up of sounds, syllables, sentence stress, intonation and tone. And fluency and comprehension tips and exercises are also I am going to share time by time. So, let us start with the nouns. So, what are the nouns? So, you know that nouns refer to things, people, places or names of persons. We call them nouns. In Marathi it is a noun. So, just think about your favorite persons. Okay, you have to just think about your favorite persons. Okay, so this is the outline of the course which I have discussed. So, now you have to think of your favorite persons. So, who can be your favorite persons? So, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins, your relatives, your friends, your teachers, your relatives, your neighbors, maybe anybody, or a film actor, male actor, female actor, or TV serial actor, actress, whatever. So, there may be your favorite person. Just think about them and just write down in your notebook, father, mother, okay, like that. So, this means that you are thinking about the names and the people and the names of things, places, all these things, your favorite persons. So, we are actually talking about nouns because your favorite persons including you are nouns. So, your favorite person could be your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your friend, or someone unknown. So you have to write down who is your favorite person in your family or in your life in the notebook. So all these are common nouns. Okay, they are all common nouns. And now write the person's name here. For example, if your favorite person is your father, then write down his name. If your favorite person is your brother, write down his name. If your favorite person is your sister, write down her name. So, the name of your favorite person is a proper noun. So, just like your favorite person, things or places that you like are all common nouns. For example, there is a sentence, I like movies and home. These are common nouns. Their names such as Harry Potter and India are proper nouns. So this is the assignments to you. You have to write down your favorite things and places which are called as a common nouns, and again you have to write down the names of your favorite things and places that is called as a proper nouns. You have to write down it in your notebook, and you have to scan it or take a photo, and you have to upload it on our Google Classroom, as well as I will share a Google form where you have to submit this assignment. Remember that every assignments have a marks, and failing to do the assignments you will not get certificate. So I am clear to you. So you have to submit these assignments. Now we are going to start with the types of nouns. I hope that you understood what are the nouns. Okay, there are two types of nouns. One is a proper nouns and the second one is a common nouns. Okay, so proper nouns refer to the individual name of a person, place or thing. It called as a proper noun. For example, there is an example in the table. Okay, for example, Ansh is a name, Ruby is a name, Sheru or India, Harry Potter or Three Idiots or Sunday. These are the names of a person, place or things. So therefore they are called as a proper nouns, and rest are common nouns. So the common nouns examples are boy, girl, elephant, dog, country, book, education, birthday. These are the actually common nouns. So if you think of common nouns, there are so many of them. Things, places or people that you like or dislike. So things that you use, it is called as a common nouns, and things that you eat, they are also common nouns. For example, things that you use, for example, you use book or notebook or pen or pencil or your smartphone or whatever you use. Okay, and the things that you eat, whatever you like, fish curry or mutton curry or egg curry or fish curry or any vegetables. Okay, any veggies you like, or apple or banana, whatever you like, the fruits. Okay, so these are the actually a common nouns. Again, even your feelings and state of mind are also nouns. For example, love is a noun, hate is a noun, happiness is a noun, pain is a noun, fear is a noun. So there are so many types of common nouns. Therefore, it is a good idea to recognize how they are divided further. So let's get started. And again, I would like to tell you that don't focus on the definition of each types of noun, because we are not going to assess the definition or grammatical part, but we are going to assess you by applying this knowledge while speaking English language. So focus on recognizing each type of noun through the definition given here. So the common nouns are or we can say that it can be divided into 5 subtypes, that is the abstract noun, collective noun, compound noun, countable and uncountable nouns. So first is the countable nouns. So countable nouns are things, countable nouns are referred to things you can perceive with your five senses and can be counted. So which are the five senses? So every person have a five senses. One is eyes, number two is ears, number three is nose, number four is tongue, and number fifth is our skin. So we can perceive the things through our five senses. So these are called as a countable nouns. So what are the uncountable nouns? So uncountable nouns are those nouns or things that cannot be counted. For example, stars in the sky. We cannot count the stars. We cannot count our hair. Okay. So we cannot count the sugar, or we cannot count the rice. Okay. We can weight it. Okay. We can measure it by weight, 1 kilo, 2 kilo or gram or whatever, but we cannot count, okay, the nuts of it. We cannot count it. So therefore it is called as a uncountable nouns. Now the third type of noun is collective nouns. So the collective nouns are those nouns that is a group of people or things. Then there is a fourth number, that is the compound noun. So the compound nouns are made up of two or more words, and the last one is a abstract noun. So abstract nouns means things you cannot experience with your five senses. For example, the things, for example, we are going to see the things like love is feeling, okay, or happiness is a state of mind, or we have some ideas. So we cannot experience those things with our five senses. So therefore these nouns are called as a abstract nouns. So these are the examples. So for countable nouns, there is a photograph, book, key, phone, case, base. These are the examples. Uncountable nouns examples are butter, because we cannot count butter. We cannot count cheese. We cannot count honey. We cannot count water, wood or rice. Now the examples of collective nouns: army, group, band, team, village, school and bunch. These are the examples of compound nouns, that is the keyboard, key and board, mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law and makeup. Now the abstract nouns. Abstract nouns itself can be subdivided into four types. The feelings. In feeling, we have a love, we have a hate, anger and peace. State of mind, we have a pain, happiness, loyalty, compassion. Events is the third part of abstract nouns. So in event there is a education, reality, okay, and then ideas. In ideas we have a truth, faith and beliefs. So I would like to tell you some interesting facts about abstract nouns. So friend is a countable noun. However, friendship is an abstract noun. Nouns ending with the following suffixes are often abstract. So one example is given for each. So write one or more that comes to your mind. For example, if you add tion to pronounce, so it becomes the pronunciation. The pronounce is a countable noun, but pronunciation is a abstract noun. Okay, so if you add acy to demo, so it became the democracy. Okay, the publicity is there, public. If I add icty, it became the publicity. If there is a owner, if you add ship, owner is a countable noun, but ownership is abstract noun. So profession is a countable noun, but if you add ism, so professionalism is a abstract noun. So marry is a actually a verb, you know that, and if you add ag to it, it became the abstract noun, marriage. So like that, agree is a verb, and again if you add ment, it became the abstract noun, that is the agreement. Okay, so likewise patience is there, tolerance is there, and sadness is there. Okay, so you have some activity, you have to do some activity. I will give you those activities in our assignments segments. So now let's move to the next segment of noun, that is the forms of nouns. So there are two forms of nouns. One is a singular form of noun and the second one is a plural form of noun. So singular form of noun is used when you refer to a single person, place, things, events or idea. And plural form of noun is used when you refer to more than one person, place, thing, event or idea. Regular nouns change into plural by adding yes. For example, boy converted as a boys and book as a books. So adding yes, for example, peach, peaches and tomato, tomatoes. Adding is, examples are lady becomes ladies and butterfly becomes butterflies. And irregular nouns change into plural in different ways. For example, man becomes man, wife becomes wives, tooth becomes teeth, and person becomes people, cactus becomes cacti, sheep becomes sheep, deer becomes deer, air becomes air, and makeup as a makeup. No changes in it. So let's try to understand that how we can speak in English. So in this lecture we understood the noun, we understood the types of noun, we also understood the examples of noun. Now let's think about that how we are going to construct a sentence. So you know that a simple formula of making a sentence is a subject plus verb plus object, and it is a totally different from Marathi. In Marathi, you know that the verb comes at the end of the sentence, but in English you have to use verb in the middle of sentence after the subject. For example, Ram reads books. So here Ram is a subject, reads is a verb, and books are objects. So here we can see on the below the table. So where subject, who is the subject? Subject means a person who performed the action. So who performed the action in this word? Ram reads books. So here is Ram who performed the action. So therefore Ram is a noun here as a subject. And what is the action? What kind of action Ram is performing? So he is reading. So reads is the verb we use here. Then who received the action? Okay, so obviously books. Books are nouns. So in this way we start constructing the sentences. So guys, before we wind up our lecture, I would like to share you some learning tips. So in grammar, the same word can be a noun or verb depending on how we are using it. Remember the examples. If a word is showing an action, it is a verb, and if a word is naming an activity, it is a noun. So you must understand this, that if a word is showing an action, it is a verb, and if a word is naming an activity, it is a noun. So for example, or keeping the subject verb object rule in mind, from one simple sentence with the following nouns are example. For example, job, I love my job. Child, the job is a noun, so we can say that I love my job. A child is a noun, we can say that that child is very talented. Now education is a noun, you can use it as a basic education is needed to do anything in life. For example, if there is an email, you can use like that, your email was rude. Or if you are going to use people, so you can say that the people in this house are very caring. Or if you want to simply use English word, so you can say that I can speak in English. And if there is a paper, you have to use it, so you can say that I need a blank sheet of paper. Okay, so again, once again, I would like to tell you that you must think and speak in English as much as you can. So there are many nouns, it is not possible to cram each of them along with their plural forms. You will learn more with times, as you begin to communicate in English. So whenever you find a noun for which you do not know the plural forms, make a note of it. So find out its plural form using an online dictionary. So you can also listen to how the word is pronounced. So guys, I hope that you understood it. So if you have any kind of queries, if you didn't get anything, please write down in comment section. So I will repeat again myself. I will try my best to solve your queries, and I will try my best that you must understand what I am talking to you. So before I wind up, I would like to request you that if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. You can see below the video the red color subscribe button, so please hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon so you will get the notification of such kind of a video. So thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson.